All right.
Wait, you were supposed to stand there still. Anna told me a trick that if you stand still for 5 seconds or 10 seconds before it after it actually starts, then your frozen face isn't like wonky like ours always is.
Actually, the last one wasn't so bad.
This time I have a feeling
Coca-Cola
it's
one.
gonna be weird. So
Whatever. Like, the Coca-Cola one is not so bad.
oh, so
Yeah.
we are outside. We are outside in the beautiful,
It's nice out.
crisp. It's crisp.
Yeah, oh yeah, no.
I'd say it's
But
crisp.
it could be a lot colder. I mean,
Yeah, it could be. It could be. We'll wait for everybody to see that we're on. Who's gonna jump on today?
jump on.
And we're gonna take a little hike around. A cool property.
Yeah.
That many of you, I'm sure, have seen if you do the trails at Kennesaw Mountain. And if you don't do the trails, maybe you've heard of it, or maybe you've done the trails, you've seen it, and you've read the signage, and you already know. But maybe we'll show you something new that they don't have on the signage. So.
Well, I will say I have never done this trail, so I will. Anybody who has not experienced it, you will be experiencing like me, first time. Hi Dorothy. Who do we got? Hi Edward, Cherry.
Hi Anna.
Hi Anna. Got lots of people jumping on.
Yes.
But yeah, in the description, because we can't see it, but in the description, if you're not familiar with where we are, you obviously must not live here or have ever lived here, but we are at Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park.
Yes, we are.
All the letters.
Yes, we are. And we want to thank the National Park Service and their staff over here at our local center that for allowing us to come film and for being such good friends and colleagues to us. And, we've got a great relationship with a lot of historic houses and museums and parks around here. It really is a good group in our community and really the state. We all work very well together, surprisingly, and like to share stuff.
So your dad's here.
Hi, Dad.
So John, guess what? Our History Loves company from now on, we each are wearing microphones.
What?
We have made it into the 21st century with 2 mics.
Season 2. We're bringing it strong.
We are. So we would
Up
like
in the
to
game.
Yeah, we would like to thank the Friends of Marietta History, who help support museum programming.
Look.
We can back up.
I have a pack on me.
So
I have a mic
they
pack.
purchased these lavalier mics for us. So we are doing it.
So hopefully the sound quality will be great, and Christa won't have to say mic check every single time.
So
I want to do a montage of every time you say mic check, please. Steve, mic check.
Anna, mic check. But also this is because hopefully we're going to be doing some more videos, not just but outside. And when we do them outside, it's easier for us to be a little bit apart. We need to be back a little, forward a little.
I really like being your Bobsy twin, though. Standing so close.
Yes, John, we've needed it for a really long time,
Yes,
but I'm tired of standing next to your daughter so much. Like, I need a little space. Only 16 years later.
So now, today we're testing it out to see how far away we can, how far can we walk away from the camera and it still works.
Yeah, well, and also, because it is a little bit of a breeze here.
Yeah.
Hoping there's not a lot of distortion or anything.
Yeah.
But we would have had them set last week, but I messed up in trying to test them, so I figured it out this week.
It's all good.
It's all good. We're good.
It's all good.
So
let's officially start this episode of History Loves Company.
Yep.
I'm Amy Reed, curator at the Marietta Museum of History, and this is my lovely coworker,
Christa McKay, the collections manager at the museum. So we this one is actually your pick. You're the one that was like, let's go do this, and I went.
Yes, this has been on my list for a long time.
It is, yeah.
I know it's not always apparent, but I do exercise sometimes. So when I do, I choose to come to the trails at Kennesaw Mountain. And one of my favorite trails does a loop around the site that we're going to cover today. And Jack said next we need a cameraman. So you don't like just the two of us?
I think we do a pretty darn good job. Also, that
Are you volunteering?
Yeah, well, he works part of the time we do this. But also, like, to be honest, that would mess up our flow. Third parties for us, and not so much.
Yeah, I don't know.
You guys are what we want to pay attention. I don't need another person distracting.
We would bring Anna out, but she has to hold down the fort.
somebody got to hold down the
museum. We can close the museum. But yeah, so I did want to show you guys where we're actually standing here. Okay, let's turn the camera around for just a second. We just came out of this trail right here, and if you follow this trail about a quarter of a mile, a little less than a quarter of a mile, you will dead end into Kennesaw Avenue right before it hits Old 41. And there's a couple of businesses across the street that are kind enough to often let people park there. I don't know if that's official or not, so don't quote me on that, but I personally know many people who park there and then walk across. So that's where we came, down that path. And then if you continue walking down that path, then you're fine. I have to change the camera though. They don't want to see me.
No, they can
hear
you now.
I know. Then you will come straight and dead end on this lovely exhibit panel here. Interpretive panel, I should say. And welcome to Camp Brumby. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about today is Camp Brumby. And we'll zoom back in on some of those photos in a minute. But this camp has absolutely nothing to do with the Civil War.
Nope.
And it has nothing to do with Brumby Hall over by, well, I mean, they're loosely related. They're related, but not the same people.
Yeah,
not the same man. It's not named after Arnoldus Brumby, that house is named after. So Camp Brumby was a CCC camp. Okay. Civilian Conservation Corps.
I typed it out in the description.
Yeah. Okay, good. Civilian Conservation Corps. Do you want to talk a little bit about what the Conservation Corps was?
Yes, we will do that. So I'm going to get on, we're going to flip the camera over so I can read some things. The book that I'm reading these from, we do have available at the museum store. They are $15. This book does not feature this camp specifically. It does feature the other CCC camps across Georgia. Okay. I just want to preface that.
So I'm going to flip it around here and I'll be the cameraman.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, you're good.
All right, so this is the book.
Yep.
So Georgia's Civilian Conservation Corps. You can see I marked it up.
Who's the author?
Connie M. Huddleston.
Okay.
I don't know her. Do you know her?
No, I don't.
Okay. So, CCC is a part of the Works Progress administration, that alphabet soup of programming that FDR created. So, FDR says, I propose to create a civilian conservation corps to be used in simple work, not interfering with normal employment, mainly those who worked in the forestry and agriculture departments, and confining itself to forestry, the prevention of soil erosion, flood control, and similar projects, hence the conservation portion of that name. More importantly, however, than the material gains will be the moral and spiritual value of such work. We are in the height of the Depression.
Yes.
People need to work. People need to be doing something, and so he realizes this.
And the government was actually successful in creating programs to help underprivileged, or everybody was struggling, a lot of people, find jobs, and not just hand out money, but they were actually handing out jobs and job skills.
So what he says is, we can take a vast army of these unemployed out into healthful surroundings. We can eliminate to some extent at least the threat that enforced idleness brings to spiritual and moral stability. It's not a panacea for all unemployment, but it is an essential step in this emergency. I estimate that 250,000 men can be given temporary employment by early summer, and if you will give me the authority to proceed within the next 2 weeks. So he's asking Congress, got to do all the things. So another term for the CCC is the tree army. I love that.
Ooh,
and we'll
the
talk
tree
a little bit
army.
about that. But Roosevelt's tree army planted more than 2 billion trees, built over 13,000 miles of foot trails, restored, this is my favorite, almost 4,000 historic structures, and spent more than 6 million man-days fighting forest fires. So it lasts 9 years until the after. So 1933 to 1942, with the outbreak of World War II, almost 2.5 million young men, World War I veterans, and Native Americans are enrolled, with 200,000 African Americans. The many recruits arrived underweight, malnourished, and uneducated. Most left the Corps in good health with at least a high school diploma, and some even received college degrees. So you can see this progression, what this program is providing. In Georgia, it helped develop 3 national forests, 3 national monuments, a national National Battlefield, 12 state parks, and 4 military installations. And the camps existed across 78. Really? Louder? This new
Yes.
mic is not working. Hold on, let me turn
Wait a
up the
minute.
volume on it.
Oh, you have volume. I didn't know we had volume. We were told that you're a good bit lower than before. Okay.
Because I'm reading and not just
Yes.
winging it.
Okay.
Okay, so, and then 78 counties you see these camps, okay? Also, what I wanted to show this, mention this one too. The enrollee received an Army physical, 2 weeks of conditioning training, and uniforms, including a denim work uniform and a formal uniform. For a month's work, they received $30 in pay, for which they kept $5. The remainder was sent to their family, or if none existed, placed in the savings account. The idea being, if you're sending that $25 back to family, they're going to use it to boost the local economy. So
Right.
that's the reason why.
Right.
Housing, meals, and along with medical and dental care came with the job, and they enrolled for 6 months and can re-enlist for 6 months. So, in this part, when I was talking about underweight, majority gained 8 to 14 pounds, and you're sitting here going, "How underweight were they?"
Mm-hmm.
And then about 1.5 inch in height, so they even grew taller. And these are adult men.
Wow. Yeah, I did see somewhere else as well that was that was. She's not louder. Okay. Well, let me see if maybe we turn this back around. Maybe it's got to be pointed this way.
But the thingy is on
don't
the
know
back. I
how we
should be
work.
closer to it.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah, we'll talk louder.
But the thing was facing me. That's the
Yeah.
funny part.
So yeah, but going to that point, I had read somewhere that part of the cool thing about the CCC trained men, and they were all men,
Yes.
was that when World War II rolled around, they were already, better prepared, not only
Yes.
because of the system with which the camp ran, the military style system,
Mhm.
but also because their health, their general
Yeah.
health, was way better coming out of the CCC camp than it had been before when they were living in, poverty,
Mhm.
really,
Yes.
and hungry, and I don't know. So yeah,
So the program itself starts in 1933. This property does not get the CCC camp until 1938. Last summer, Amy and I talked about the National Youth Administration.
Mhm.
That was what was here first. A little
On
bit
this
early,
site?
not this site,
Okay.
but as a works progress program. That was here in Marietta earlier than CCC.
yeah,
And then a lot of the men who were in CCC or in the National Youth Administration, white men, they would then enlist here for CCC when they got older. Park Service checking us,
Yay.
making sure things are looking
we're
good.
legit. We're legit.
So-
Yes, right. So, and I'm glad you mentioned white men.
Yes.
Because there are a number of articles out there that you can read about African Americans in the CCC. Now, they were recruited to work in the CCC camps. However, they were segregated camps, and
It was not here.
It
The
was
camp
It was not here. It was not here. It was they had completely different camps. I think I left that paperwork out of my
I
desk.
think there
too.
was one at like Fort Valley, and
yeah.
I think maybe Columbus might,
Yeah.
or that Columbus area might have had one.
And it said that 10% of the working force was African American. Because they were trying to, and this is according to this article, which I left on my desk. Sorry, I know. But 10% were African American men, and that was supposed to be representative of the percentage of African Americans in the community in general, in the population, census,
I gotcha.
And however, the problem with that is that even though 10% were represented to equal their numbers in society, there was a much higher percentage of African Americans who were living in poverty than whites who were living in poverty. So really, the families it was directly helping, the lower of the low, poor, income wise, they were not being helped as much.
Yeah.
Because many of them were African Americans. So the percentages were off, is what I'm getting at.
Yes, your poverty percentages.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
So yeah. All right. So shall we? Let's walk to the next stop, and then we'll talk a little bit more about continue the beginnings of this location.
okay,
So yeah,
That's good.
we're gonna.
I'm gonna turn
follow
this
the path. Hopefully we can be loud
around.
enough.
Yeah.
Go that way.
Oh yeah, we're going this
that
way. I'm following my path I usually run, and we're not doing that. We're going the opposite way. So here we
You go
are.
counterclockwise.
I know.
Huh?
You know what?
Strange bird.
I know. Oh, we can't. Can we take this off? Oh, we can. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
the clip thing is, yeah, you can take that iPad off.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, it's a beautiful walk out here. We've got a number of people walking as well today, out getting their exercise. These houses right here, I don't know when they were built. I would say in the last 10 years, but they are right on top of this property.
You'll never have a backyard neighbor.
So, no, but you have lots of people. I guess if you have a good back porch, you could watch everybody walking by.
People watching.
You know what? I am going to stop and take this off because there's a few details that I want to show that I've noticed as I've run that be easier to show if it's not on a tripod. So
Just don't lose
I'm not going to lose the thing. Okay, here we go. Let's go this way. All right, so as we come across over here, there's a fence that I believe the National Park Service has put up recently. But it comes up to the ruins of a bridge, which I believe was part of the main entrance over here. Okay, so here's, oh no, this was the entrance to the education building. So I'll show you their signage in a minute here. But look at this bridge. So when you are out and about all around Georgia and you see things that are built with a lot of stone, and particularly bridges, buildings, those are very typically CCC projects. And I know if you go down to Callaway Gardens, down by Roosevelt State Park, FDR State Park, you'll see a lot of things like that. So those are, you can almost always pinpoint them by a lot of, they use natural and local supplies or, you know, things in the environment to build with. So that's what's left of some sort of a little bridge that now there's two houses here, but when this was here, it was an education building. Now, this picture we have here, I actually have a better one on my phone, but let me show you. The education building was here, okay? That's the education building. So if the road is kind of going around like this, we're here, okay?
Okay.
And I believe the road would have gone between these buildings here, okay? That building here, which I believe would have been in this general area over there, that was the National Park Service main building at the time before they built the visitor center. So, and then you had that's a tool shed over there. I'm not sure what that is. I've got it marked down in my phone in a minute I can look at, but that's where the education building was. So, now, if we keep walking in this direction.
Now, see, these are new homes being built.
Yeah, they're still building.
They're still building.
I know, I can't hold this and that. I know. I'm just... So,
I'll hold all your stuff. As usual.
Thank you. Well,
don't worry. Once we get to the next stop and I can put some in the bag.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a lot of people out here, but it's not, like, crazy crowded.
Right. Kellen, are we wearing masks? We are not right now. Kellen, you'll often notice that in our videos, Christa and I often don't have masks together. We are our own little family group, if you will. We have been together through the quarantine the entire time. I see her more often than my own husband and 4 children.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
we will, in places that are indoors,
yeah, we do.
We will wear them if there's somebody that requests that.
Yeah.
Some places there's nobody else in the building.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
We do actually have them in our pockets right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
But it's we have found that it's much harder to hear us talking when we're wearing the mask. So we are taking that chance.
And we do carry. I have hand sanitizer, and we clean our hands, so we have all that.
And that's a valid question that we've been asked before. So feel free to always ask us questions like that. Everyone, we always have an answer. So okay, let's. We've got a couple over here. Let's start. We'll come back around right there. Let's start right here.
Okay.
So this, to me, it's an open area, and I feel like it was one of the main entrances into the center area there, which we'll go out to in a minute. But they had a number of barracks all around, And this is the interior of one of the barracks. So the men who worked here, they really did live and work in a similar fashion to military style. They ate in a mess hall, which we'll see. They had barracks. They had a system of rank within them that, you know, they had people in charge. But it said they had 4 barracks and capable of housing up to 200 young men. So at any given time at this camp, there were anywhere from 150 to 200 men. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, very military style,
Yeah,
very army-like. So
if we look in, you can see that looks like a pot-bellied heater there, and they've got their blankets all folded up on the end of their beds.
And that's why for a lot of them going into World War II, they knew the routine.
Yeah.
You had to have a clean barrack.
The barracks, one of the ones that this picture is trying to tell you about, one of them was here, but there are no ruins. We will see ruins of other buildings. But now over here, actually before we move, I'm going to show you guys right out here. Okay, hold on. Actually, let me find my phone. Here. You hold that for a minute and talk.
Okay. Hold on, I'll give her that. Okay, so we did go up into this field, which she's going to talk about in a minute. But it is this lovely field. I think it'd be a great, as she said, a great place to picnic, which I believe she has done that. But there is an entrance kind of to this side into the field. And then in the middle of the field, it's like a little raised area. And then trees kind of in the middle. You guys, let me see if I can find my
They're
finger.
in the round.
Yeah, in the round, right? That, like those trees. They're in a circle, and we think that's probably where the flags were, correct?
Well, let me show you this. Okay. Can you zoom in on my phone here?
Let me get closer. There you go.
Okay. I know it's small, guys. So this is a map of a later hand-drawn map of the camp. Now, if you notice, there are dots around there. So those, I believe, represent the trees that are there now.
Okay.
In the middle would have been the flagpole that's in that photograph that we showed you earlier of kind of the bird's eye view. These are all buildings. The education building in this picture is number 3, which is over here. So we are actually on this end over here.
And we're probably, if you move down a little bit, you see where the entrance is, this little pathway.
Right
That's
here?
probably where we're at.
Yeah, probably, because these are barracks 5 and 6 on either side there.
Yeah.
Yep, so that probably is it. Yeah, the education building where it had that bridge. Look, there's 2 little lines there that show the bridge. So
yeah,
that was it, okay? Number 4 that we passed, which there's nothing left of, would have been the MPS office. Oh, so that would have been over there. Yeah.
The Park Service
where
office?
I said it was.
Yeah.
That's where I said it was. So. And
Lord, she was right.
actually,
Now she's
look
never
here.
going to live it down.
Now I do want to point this out
hold
in
on.
this map. When we were standing at the bridge.
Oh, I can't see that.
Oh, right there?
Come up? No. There we go.
Okay. When we were standing at the Rock Bridge, if you look to your left, which is now a neighborhood, it says ball field. They did have baseball teams and football teams, and they played organized sports against other teams in the area.
Yeah, I did come across some of that.
Yeah.
Because there were some of the local businesses still had teams, and sometimes they would even play like the high school teams and exhibition games.
Yeah.
Give everybody a chance to get some practice in. That's what needed to happen. So, all right. I'm going to hand this back to her. We're going to turn over the other way. So you're facing out now?
Okay. Let's continue the field trip to our next stop over here, this interpretive sign, which, well, this one talks about the Civilian Conservation Corps, a history of the Corps, which we already went over, and Camp T.M. Brumby, as this one was called, named. And there's the flagpole that we pointed. You can see how the ground slightly goes up, and it still does out there when you go out to the middle over there.
There's a little rise to it.
There is a little rise
between
between
shadow
those
on
trees.
it right now that you might be able to see.
Yep. And so that's where I don't see the trees in this picture, but that's where the flagpole was.
Sorry, she closed Facebook out for a second there.
Oh boy, yeah, Jack, we do need a cameraman. Okay, so the what was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Oh, we think that those trees. I don't know this for a fact, we're guessing, this is a guess, that those trees may have been planted in honor of the 50th anniversary, because the Park Service did have a 50th anniversary celebration out here for the camp, and they, at the time, they had some of the men who worked here, and they did oral interviews. Retha did Stevens, thank you, who worked out here for many years. She did interviews of a lot of them, so there's that.
So, again, the 50th anniversary would have been when? 1992, right? At the end?
It was
or
in
88?
It was 80s.
Oh, okay, so when it opened, 1988 then.
Yeah, that's
because
when
it opened in 1938.
Actually, I think the interviews that I have were 81 to 84, so they may have been gearing up to this.
Yeah, probably.
But, yeah, so, okay. And let's keep walking. And we're walking. Over here, on this side of the trail, let's see. The oil house location. Okay, here's that photo again, that bird's eye view photo. The oil, is it marked on here?
No,
it's not. So if the education building is here and the National Park building is here, then the oil house must be like maybe back here.
Maybe a little building.
I think it's that building there. Yeah. So, because we were just standing between some barracks here.
Yep.
So that's probably the oil house. Yeah, with some barracks behind us. Okay. Now, we'll go over here. And if you come to the National Park, we do ask that you please clean up after your dog. And they have lovely stations here for you to do that. So this trail here, this is the trail that if you want a long trail, you'll go straight here, and that takes you to Burnt Hickory Road at almost 2 miles away. I've not made it all the way to Burnt Hickory Road, but I've gotten close.
Yes, they did do work at Northcutt Stadium.
Yes. We did see that. But
we didn't print out the full article, but it did happen in 39.
Yeah, and that's again that wall that's at Northcutt Stadium, that brick wall. I mean, not brick, rock wall.
Rock wall.
That's very typical of CCC camp, WPA, Works Progress Administrative style work.
Yep.
Very typical. Okay, so this here is the forge location. Okay, so if we're looking at the map and we had the oil house, the forge, it's somewhere back here.
It could be that building right there.
That one I think would have been over there. You know?
Maybe.
But maybe it's one of these. Where's my finger? Here we are. It's one of these here, back here. Okay. And again, there's no ruins right here that I can see, but we will come to ruins. I promise you. I've walked through them.
She promises.
I know.
She better.
We did actually pass them on the way here that I'll go back to.
She promises me ruins.
We have them, I promise.
I've seen pictures.
Crawled in them before, so
of course
you're probably not supposed to.
Well,
but I was doing historic research, official, because I am a professional.
You are a professional.
So I can professionally climb through ruins.
Let's address this right now too, though, because we do get this question.
Okay.
If you come on mountain property and you find a Civil War bullet, can you keep it?
No.
No, you cannot. That is federal government property. That is a federal offense. Hold on. Oh, wait. Is that a ruin? Is that what you were promising me?
Yes. Here's one. It's not marked. So this might be the oil house. Let's go back here.
Or the forge, though.
Or the forge. Yeah, that's what I said. The forge.
That is what you said.
This one I've not been back to, actually. So let's see if we can. And they also say to stay on the trails. So, but we got permission to come out here. So I'm sure park rangers assumed I would be crawling all around. They know me well enough. Okay. So here we have, does this look like a forge to you? I don't know.
It looks like it's the foundations to a building. A
skinny building.
Well, but it could have had more than this. I don't know.
Yeah, they've got some posts and screws and that would be holding everything together, but you know, you'd think they might get rid of these for safety reasons, but hey, I'm glad they didn't. So, yeah, these are bigger screws. Okay.
Full-on rebar going
Yeah.
on.
Here's a big one, just to show you how big they are. Yeah, so we're saying that was the forge.
Prove me wrong, people.
Yeah, I don't think I have an interior shot of the forge that we can find. That was not one of them, so maybe we'll find one somewhere else. Did you already tell them about where the photos are at the National?
Anna has that link.
Okay, yeah, there's a link to where you can find CCC camp. Not this camp.
Well, they might have some.
They
I don't
might
know.
have some, yeah, okay. But all the camps, photos at the National Park Service. So
Okay, so before we spotted finally some ruins, yeah, if you find anything Civil War era or even 1930s, 40s, this is federal government property. You cannot take it.
yeah. You definitely can't come out here with a metal detector because
No.
that is a felony.
For sure.
And you will get jail time.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to do that.
No, not today.
And to be honest, before it became a felony, I have a good feeling that all the local relic hunters hit this spots up pretty
Yeah.
well. And I don't know that there's a whole lot left.
No, you, when we stop at this next one, because I do see where we're going to stop next, maybe we'll talk a little bit about the progression of this as a national park. Because at one point, somebody literally did own the mountain, and it was not the government. So,
Yeah, let's
Just
do
saying.
that. Okay,
And
so
this, I
here
think,
we
is a good
come.
spot.
This is a good spot because it might be somewhere we can sit or put our stuff down. Okay, this is the bathhouse
well, if
location.
there's any place we should talk, it's a bathhouse.
That's right. Okay, the bathhouse location, if I'm remembering correctly in my notes,
Well, then do you think-
was over
That's pretty
here.
far over, though.
It said it was over here. It said the bathhouse was over here with latrine. So we'll see.
Maybe that's where the gnats are flying right
yeah,
there.
because
That's where the
look.
latrine is.
You know why you know this? I'm dropping these things. I don't even care. All right, you know,
As long as you pick it up, it's not
I
clear.
will. All right, so here, let's go look at the foundation. So you've got a nice square foundation that shows you the size of this property. Krista, you want to stand in the middle so they can get a gauge on the size. If you're standing, it's really not that big of a building if you think about it. So, you know, but this is the latrine, so I guess you don't need a very big bathroom. But,
Pretty good size, though.
yeah, but if you look over here, okay, I don't know what that fancy square was for, but maybe a shower.
Yeah.
But over here, we have plumbing. So, yeah, this was definitely where the toilets were.
So yeah, well, here's a. Yeah, that looks like a drain.
You got a drain? Look at you.
Oh,
You
maybe not.
just-
Well, it just felt like it looked like a hole.
You're like a regular
I'm like an
archaeologist.
Amy Reed going through.
You're an archaeologist.
No.
What is the, okay, on the tops of these are some interesting little, oops, where's the camera? Details. That's a big old screw, if that's a screw.
There's another pipe right here. There's another drain pipe.
Anna Hunter said, are they building houses in an area where it used to be federal property? No, I don't believe so. I don't think that's area that the federal property ever owned. There's, you know, as you know, the mountain is surrounded by private property, and most people in the past 10 years especially have been selling off their private property for neighborhoods.
So this is a perfect time to discuss this.
Yes.
We are used to the mountain as this large property, but if you look at it from like a map, it's all piecemeal. There's all these little pockets that kind of are coming together. It's not one large size, whatever.
Right.
Because after the war, after the Civil War, you have a little area that is preserved because it was where Union General McCook or whatever died. Somebody deemed it worthy to mention him.
Yeah.
So and actually, I do have it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't toss it. Let's see. Okay. Efforts to preserve the Civil War battlefield began when sorry, I gave him a promotion, my bad. Colonel Dan McCook Brigade Association purchased 60 acres where McCook died, leading a Union charge up the steep incline of Cheatham Hill. So that's the first 60 acres.
And Cheatham Hill is not anywhere near this. Cheatham
No.
Hill you actually access off of Whitlock, which turns into Dallas Highway.
Yeah.
If you go out that way and you see signs for Cheatham Hill and then the Cobb County Youth Museum, back there is where Cheatham Hill is, and there's a really cool monument back there and all that.
So on the 50th anniversary in 1914, they pick a site to dedicate the Illinois Monument. They try and restore the battlefield properly. The group soon offers their property to the federal government. After much delay, in 1926, the War Department assumes that 60 acres. Another group, a local group, headed by William Tate Holland, creates the Kennesaw Mountain Battlefield Association, and they gain title to some 450 acres, including the most important battlefield sites. Amy and I were talking about this. So what they do is they start selling bonds, make few improvements, and develop plans for a toll road through the park. Could you imagine, everybody?
I said, that sounds like something they would do today to make some money.
Oh, I know,
mean,
right? Could you imagine a toll road on Whitlaw?
Do not give them any ideas, because that's coming. We already have to pay to park now. I remember when we didn't have to do that.
No, you didn't have to do that. So, and then Franklin Roosevelt, when he shifts the Cheatham Hill site from the War Department to the Park Service, so this is the 30s, and then a congressman and a senator, so Congressman Malcolm Tarver and Senator Richard Russell, these are federal. Malcolm Tarver is up in like Dalton, and then Richard Russell, his family came from here, from Marietta, but he wasn't living here at that time, but he was Georgia senator. They spearhead legislation in 1935 to change the mountain from a national battlefield site to a national battlefield park. So that's when we changed to a park, and that allows an appropriation of $100,000 to buy as much of the battlefield as possible. Today, that's about $2 million.
Okay.
But you still see, again, like you're driving through, you're like, oh, neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and there might be Battlefield Park on both sides of that neighborhood,
Mhm.
but not that particular pocket of land.
So,
And so when the CCC camp was here, they mainly did work here in this area. This is where their camp was. But the work that they did was on Big Kennesaw, Little Kennesaw, at Cheatham Hill, and then they had a few projects in the community like North Cup Stadium and maybe some others. But I didn't mention. Do we want to do an update? We got an alert for an update.
Not right now.
Cancel. Okay.
Maybe later.
We didn't mention the main things that they were doing here were clearing and paving the road, the mountain road, to get around the mountains and up the mountain.
Yeah.
Then they were planting a lot. They were gardening in many ways. I mean, landscaping, I should say.
Yeah.
All over the place. They planted all kinds of trees. There was one guy in particular who his main job was just to document all the varieties of flora and fauna in this area.
I would have been like, not me.
Yeah, me.
Not it.
Yeah, I know. They have a whole folder at the Kennesaw Mountain Archives with photographs of the different types of trees and plants, and I'm like, well, they all look the same.
Well, yay to him.
But,
I mean, I
I'm
appreciate the
glad we did.
preservation.
So glad somebody does that. So they were landscaping a lot. They tore down buildings that were like old homes. One in particular, and I do have some photos. I'm gonna hand it to Christa in a minute. Was a pre-Civil War home that had burned at some point, and they had to clear it out. And then the very first visitor center here at the park was an old home. Who, again, I've got a picture. I'll show you. And they worked on restoring that home into a visitor center and landscaping around it. But perhaps their most important contribution to this area, and that locals were, when they left, locals were sad to see them go the most, because their big job around here also was watching out for and preventing forest fires. And so they were big on that. They had a fire tower at the top of the mountain. That's where they were looking for fires, and they were just protecting the area for fires. So when they left, that was left to National Park Service crew, which I imagine they didn't have many employees, at that time.
No.
And so that was something that they missed. But let me pull those pictures and I'll show you.
Well, I mean, and also that $5 that they were getting, they were putting it back into our economy around here. So like you're getting that as well. I'm gonna flip it around. So Amy showed you that one side, and kind of. There's a few more ruins over here, but like, I mean, there's leaves on the ground, but there's definitely a concrete pad underneath. It's not dirt or anything like that.
But if you come out here during the summer, it's all overgrown. It's hard to get to.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, sorry, it's on my phone,
It's
but
okay.
The bottom. Y'all don't want my Stitch Fix number, do you? The bottom home, okay, picture.
Wait, am I going to the bottom?
Yeah,
Okay,
go to the bottom
sorry.
first. That's what the home looked like before they did any work on it. And that's the home. It was in the general location of where today's visitor center is.
Okay, gotcha.
And that's what they used to turn into the visitor center. The top picture is the after picture, after they landscaped and looks like they pulled off the porch and did some
Look at
work.
that difference.
So, yeah,
They
that's
made it much more modern looking.
yeah. There's that. This
Lots of trees. It is nice out here, though. It is quiet. There was an owl earlier that was talking to us. I don't think he was too happy with us interrupting his sleep. But
probably. Okay, this is the house, and again, I'm not sure where it was located on the property, but it was a pre-Civil War house that had been abandoned. This notation says burned at some point after the war, but they just wanted to tear it down. So the CCC camp guys tore it down and just left a chimney. So again, I would be interested to know if there's any pile of bricks somewhere on property.
so I did ask Amy though earlier because when she was talking about it, I said, "Oh, is that the chimney on Burnt Hickory across from the parking lot at Burnt Hickory?" And it's not. That was a different house. That's private property.
Yeah.
So just an FYI on
Yeah,
that one.
there might be another chimney around here though.
Yeah.
For those who illegally go off the path, which I don't know who
I don't know anybody
that would do that.
We got permission.
You may have seen it somewhere. So anyways, these are pictures they had. The below picture is kind of the roadbed before. New York Times, thank you very much. The roadbed before they did any work on it. And then the top picture is after they graded for the road. So they really did a lot to prevent erosion and just make a more stable and safe roadway system.
And it's also helping to keep those roads if you got really heavy rains from washing out. So you've got more of those road systems that aren't going to need to be redone because you're sloping downward versus the mountain coming towards it. So yeah, all right, we got to pick up some stuff. I'm going to hand this back to Amy.
Okay.
I'll pick up our stuff.
Yeah. All right. Pick up all the papers I threw on the ground. Sorry. Look at me making a mess. Okay. I'm going to keep walking. So we're going to go up the path. And I highly recommend, if you do this, to go in the opposite direction of where we're going, because most of your walk/run will be downhill. Right now we are going uphill. So just a little side note. Let's see, we got some people behind us, hikers. It's a beautiful day. All right. And I do also have a picture of Brumby, who this was named after. So Christa and I first thought that this park was named after Thomas Brumby, who was a Spanish-American war hero that was from Marietta and went over to the Philippines and was in the Battle of Manila and was one of the heroes of the Battle of Manila. And I assumed that it was named after him. Of course, that would have been turn of the century, so they would have known about him at this point in the 30s. But as it turns out, it was not him. It was T.M. Brumby, the mayor of Marietta, who had just passed away, and I have his picture.
I have his picture.
You have his picture. This ruin does not have a sign. Okay, there's T.M. Brumby. That's who this was named after. He was the mayor of Marietta, and
Is he a Brumby, Chair Brumby?
I think he was. Yeah, Brumby, Chair Brumby. So, okay. So here we go.
Now, somebody here did litter, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, I know. But these are the ruins here that we have. Kellen Wiley, you know COVID is airborne, right? Yes, ma'am, we do. And again, this is mainly so that you can hear us when we're talking. We often have a problem with that. This is our only way of connecting with our visitors during COVID when we were shut down, and it was so popular that we've continued it every week. We are careful when we're inside buildings, but again, Christa and I have been together since we were never quarantined. The city employees were never quarantined, stayed at home or anything. We worked every single day of 2020.
And we wear our masks
and together.
We wear our masks with our other coworkers.
Yes, inside our building we have masks around our volunteers, other coworkers, but like I said, we are a family unit. So
I mean, we've been together 16 years. That's longer than many marriages.
Yeah, right. And I see her more than my husband. So, okay. So I don't know what this is. Sorry for that side note, y'all. I don't know if anybody knows what this might be. It almost looks like a barbecue pit, which actually we may be coming up on the mess hall. So that may be what this is. So let's go see. I think we are coming up on, yes, oh, the food storage location, even more important. All right, here's our food storage location sign, and if I remember correctly, I don't know if I had the mess hall listed on my phone, so I'll have to, but this is a cool picture. These are some of the cooks posing, and one of those, let me see if I can remember which one it is. I don't recognize him in here. One of those guys, his name was Pee-wee.
Pee-wee Collins.
Pee-wee Collins. And
yeah.
How do you know Pee-wee?
Because I showed you that article that I printed out about it.
Yes. He was Pee-wee Collins, and he ended up being the, after he learned how to cook here with the CCC, he opened and ran the City Cafe, which was on the square next to the courthouse for many years.
He ran something else. Let me see if I can find it. But, yeah, he ran like a barbecue place though too, I thought.
So I think I put that article in the pack of articles that I left on my desk.
I printed that article out.
I know. I moved it to the picture of the mess hall.
He only passed away, I want to say like 10 years ago. It wasn't like...
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
like something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's check out the food storage ruins, if you will. It's really, again, just a foundation. Not huge, but... Here you have it. And more than likely this rock was here because I can't imagine anybody moving it here. So, yeah. It does look like way back there.
Yeah.
I see, we're not going to walk back there for time, but I do see some more ruins back there that could have been part of another building. Maybe I'll explore them on my own some other day. And so, and then here is something. Pipes, maybe some sort of a heating system. Right here, we've got pipes here, and then.
Oh, there's another foundation over there too.
Okay, let's go see. I didn't see a sign for this one.
No, I didn't either.
I know a number of buildings out here were for car maintenance, and they had a car shed, and they had a whole group of mechanics. So this could potentially be that area. There were like 3 or 4 buildings for automobile mechanics. I don't know what this big old block of something is. Yeah. Yeah, it's got some bricks. Let's go look over here. Okay. No, it's not very big. It sure isn't. Yeah, I know. A lot of the buildings, the barracks were a lot larger, but this building may have been one of the mechanics. Oh, I see a sign. Mess hall, thank you. This is the mess hall. My goodness. Yeah, right. You know what? There's a picture of the interior of the mess hall over on a sign over there. Let me see what this one says. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna follow down over here. Okay. Some great commentary with another guest. Okay, oh, here it is. Yeah, so here's the interior. This is the picture I was hoping to show you guys. The interior of the mess hall. And this picture, this is kind of blurry. We have a better quality at work, but let's see where my finger is. All the place settings are perfectly arranged on there. It's just so military in style. And these, again, are probably all of the cooks lined up. It does have a vaulted ceiling of sorts with electric lights there. Yeah, we got the electric lights. And so, yeah, I bet those pipes we saw earlier perhaps were for heating this building, maybe. I don't know. But, yeah, if that's the mess hall, let's see. sure enough, here it is. It says so right there. Mess hall. Boom, boom. And then we come over here, and here it is. It's really not that large. I don't know where the door would have been. Oh, there's steps. It's much tinier than that picture looks. I don't know. Maybe this was like a basement area and it was built up higher, you know, because that's some steps of an entryway. Yeah, so I don't know. Okay, see if we can get out of here without breaking my neck. I know.
Inside and not out here.
Well, I think they do encourage you to take advantage of the field on the inside and, you know, picnic there or whatnot. Kids play around in there.
My suggestion to the National Park Service, one on the outside and one on the trail.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. Okay. So,
fencing up there.
I don't know.
See,
it's kind of new.
Amy, like she would know all the answers, and
well, I didn't put the fence there.
I know, but you should have just made something up. I would have believed you.
That fence was to tether the horses.
There you go.
And
keep the cars corralled
yeah.
in so they don't escape.
It is closed for revegetation and erosion control. I was gonna say.
What CCC would have done.
Yeah, I was gonna say that fence has not always been there, so I don't know, but a tree broke it.
That tree.
And they are the staff here is great about. Oh, yeah. You know, preserving the area. I know that there is a very active, what do they call them? Friends of
Kennesaw Mountain
Parks? No, trail. The trails.
Trails.
Yeah, the Kennesaw Mountain Trail Club. That's it.
They do have a friends group though too now.
Oh, okay.
They do. They have both.
Okay, yeah, very active. So if you're into that sort of thing, I think it's a great group to be a part of. Mm-hmm. And get out on parts of the mountain that probably the general public doesn't always get to be in, helping to maintain the paths, and if trees fall, I don't know if they do that kind of stuff, but yeah.
Maybe they're the ones that hear it because, you know, tree falls in the woods.
That's right. That's right. So we did miss a spot, but how are we on time?
I didn't miss it. You must have
I missed it. I was talking. Because it's one of the bigger ruins. How are we on time?
I don't know. My phone's in my...
Oh, all right. Well, we're just going to keep going, and if everybody wants to jump off.
Yeah,
we are.
We've missed.
Well, there is. I know there is, because
I know it. History portion-wise, yes, maybe ruins-wise, but...
Right. So that's, you know, that's it in a nutshell. The park, or the camp, shut down, like you said, in 42.
Yeah.
And... I did see something that mentioned that the Cobb County school system utilized some of this for something. I don't know what they used it for. Oh, one thing I did want to mention was I also saw that the government, for the men who were stationed here, they also offered night and morning classes for them to learn life skills. They had classes in literacy, yep, and in mathematics and basic things. Some were elementary level, some were college level, because you have to think about a lot of these men that came here, they were coming from farm yeah, families, and a lot of them were illiterate. They had to quit school at an early age to help on the farm, and so they didn't have that skill set. So the government, not only were they training them, giving them work skills, but they were also, here, it's just right here.
Oh, okay.
But they were also giving them skills in education. They had job training skills, they had vocational skills, all kinds of things that they, if they wanted to, they could take these classes at night. And I'm assuming their classes were held here. Okay, so here is another sign that we passed, the Tool House location. And yeah, I've seen this picture before too. So, on property, here's the inside of the Tool House. And one thing, if you'll notice, look, there's a whole bunch of
tools.
Well, yeah, they're tools, but they're like big old hammers and like, what do you call those, axes for like fighting fires and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. So Richard Angeli would love to tell you all about the trail club. So would Mark Angeli, for that matter. Well, Mark Angeli and Richard should get on here and tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. I know those two. Very active. Tell us. Leave comments, guys, and tell us what the trail club does. Put a link. Put all that. Okay, the last big.
We were already over here.
No, I promise you, there's one.
Well,
they didn't move a whole
either
thing.
Either you missed
Oh
it.
my gosh, it's right here. They didn't move a whole ruin. I promise.
It's because you don't have your special glasses on today.
I know. What am I? I have all kinds of glasses.
Your actual, like, I could see things. Glasses.
Oh, my reading glasses. My old lady glasses. Yes, I don't have those on right now. I know. Here it is. See, this is a big fun one. Kids love to jump in. Again, I don't recommend that because we are historic preservationists and we should not be climbing on the ruins. But there's nothing preventing children from doing that. So,
Well, actually,
once you don't want to jump in.
I'm not here. Well, not with my dog on.
But I do want to point out, you know, look over here. I mean, this is.
Yeah, this is a little bit lower.
This is kind of cracking, and I mean, it's not that stable, you know?
No, it's cracking, but yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
a good size.
it's a good size. It's a perfect size to bring a Cub Scout group to sit on the wall while you talk about the history of Kennesaw Mountain. I don't know anybody that's ever done that before, but I've just heard that this would be a great spot, you know, in my former life as a den leader. This trail goes on across Burnt Hickory and onto Cheatham Hill, Doug.
Yep.
Yes, it does. I often, before the time change, after work would come here and run that trail. I never made it all the way to Burnt Hickory, but that's a goal. So, goals, you know, 2021. Here we go.
All right, so
yeah.
I think we did that, right? We got all the history. You found the ruins that you were looking
We
for?
made the loop. This was it.
That was an easy loop.
That's the history in a
legit.
nutshell of the CCC camp and the men that lived here, and yeah, and what they did.
So two things.
Yeah.
First one.
Mhm.
So we told you that this property really didn't become federal property until like the mid 30s, like fully.
Mhm.
Somebody did try to get it to be federal government property earlier, and that was Alexander Stevens Clay.
Oh yes.
Guess where we're going next week, y'all? We're going to his house.
Yes,
we will be in the Clay house, touring through there. So you definitely want to watch it. It's a big, beautiful home on Atlanta Street.
Yes. It's one I've wanted to. Oh, we've been in it
We've
before.
been in it for like a few steps. It
but
wasn't a
not
lot.
like explored it.
No.
I have a feeling I'm not going to be allowed to go in the attic.
No,
but
you're not.
They say
They
it's
already
not-
told you no.
They said it's not safe. Listen, I disregard all safety measures when
Well,
I'm
FYI,
doing
it's a law
history.
firm, so the last thing they're going to do is let you go somewhere safe. And
I
ain't gonna happen.
know. I mean, I will take that. I'll sign a contract, a risk contract. Anyways, so we're going to the Clay house. Yes.
Yes.
Second thing.
Second thing, very, very important. Amy and I want to be winners.
We are winners, Christa.
I know, but I want like a sticker to put on. the
Really,
logo.
we want to be invited to the awards ceremony with free food and
Yeah.
possible alcohol.
Possibly.
I
We
don't know.
I mean, we
We've
don't
never
drink.
been, so we, we
So,
never won.
If you have not seen that, four things. The museum is nominated for 4 things for Best of Cobb, which is through the MDJ, Marietta Daily Journal.
Yes.
Best Museum 2021.
What?
Best place to take a tourist.
Absolutely.
Oh crud.
Best historic site.
Best historic site. That was what I couldn't
We
remember.
are the premier historic site.
Yeah.
There shouldn't even be anyone else in the contest.
I know.
Our
But
site is the historic site of Marietta.
I want to win those, don't get me wrong, but the fourth one, the last one, is the one I really, really want to win in. It is Best Virtual Program. History loves company, so please, you can vote every day. If you have multiple emails, you can vote
Every
through
day.
multiple emails. I voted before we left. So, yeah, Amy was
I
like, I
mean-
wonder who nominated us, and I went, me. I ain't going to be humble. You know what?
we think this
we
is a
work
great
hard on
program.
this program, so.
And it's fun.
Yeah, so if you guys can vote for us, we'd really, really appreciate it.
Yes.
But otherwise, I would suggest on a nice day like today, come out here. It's
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes, come out to the trails, get some fresh air, wear your mask if you're so inclined, please, and
We'll see you next week.
We'll
at the
see you
Clay
next week.
House.
Yes, we probably will have masks on then. So.
Oh yeah, we will.
Yeah. So, all right. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.